Just Salad CEO Nick Kenner and founder, moderated by Susan Kravitz, head of commercial partnerships at America's SeenThis. Nick is amazing. He's going to talk about conservation and the planet and the things they do. Some of the things he is leading, he's definitely a leader in this world. They save over 75,000 pounds a year with their environmental goals. Something I didn't know, but they actually put carbon footprinting information on their bowls, which is absolutely out there. I'm sure we're going to learn some more things that they are doing, but amazing stuff. He's now a B Corp and has 3 kids, and it's just amazing. So I'm going to let you guys start, but this should be a good one.
Thank you. Can everyone hear? There we go. So I'm Susan Kravitz. I'm head of commercial partnerships at SeenThis. To give you a quick idea of what we do, we're a streaming ad tech that lets clients stream video into display inventory. And by doing so, is a real benefit for you, is that it's cost-efficient video reach, which means you buy different types of media, and you get to, we stream versus download, so there's a lot of increase in performance. And last but not least, and a very common denominator why I'm up here today, is the sustainability element. Because we only stream, we send less data. So if you send less data, you're able to reduce your carbon footprint. So on that note, I'd like to introduce you. Give us a little bit about you, and then let's get started.
Great.
Hi, bud. So talk to me. Just Salad, 2006. How?
Yeah, I was working in finance. I was 24 years old. I always wanted to start my own business, had no clue what I wanted to do. And I was on a trading floor, one of like 50 people. And it came my time to be in charge of ordering on Seamless Web for the entire trading floor, and everyone wanted salads. And I couldn't find anywhere on Seamless Web. This was pre all our competition existing in Midtown. So I got to thinking, I went back to my roommate that night, and I said, if someone just did salad, but did it really well, there's going to be a huge opportunity in New York, but also I felt even then nationally at that point.
But there was something different about what you did. So let's talk about it. Because today we're here to talk about purpose and sustainability and transformation, all these amazing things. But in 2006, that wasn't a hot topic.
Yeah, I'm not someone who considers myself, a planetary defender, outwardly passionate. But when I was starting at 25, even back then, the amount of waste we were creating, even in the test phase on the restaurant side, was incredible and hurtful. I didn't want to be associated. Back then, it was all these plastic clamshells, and we were just throwing them out as we were testing. And I said, this is horrible. This makes no sense. And no one is recycling these. I mean, not no one, but 15% roughly is being recycled. So we said, we're going to do a reusable bowl. We're going to cut down all the waste, and we're going to incentivize our customer to bring back the bowl by giving them a free topping, like avocado. And everyone's going to do it. And so we started day one with only the reusable bowl in 2006. And within a couple days, I'm walking in Midtown, seeing these bowls thrown out everywhere. And you need to reuse them twice for them to be net carbon positive. So we quickly had to add a disposable bowl, but we kept the reusable bowl, and it's become like a massive part of our brand and who we are. And obviously, we're ahead of our time. But today, about 10% of all our in-store customers reuse their bowl, and we feel really proud. Over the years, we've saved massive high-rises worth of plastic because of the reusable bowl program, and we saved our customers a lot of money as well in the process by giving them free product.
That's amazing. And when they come back, how do you guys talk to them? Because they're bringing the bowl back, they're doing the program with you. But how many of you guys out there would have reused a bowl or want to do that? There we go.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
So what we're supposed to say is thank you for reducing carbon. It's gone over the years. It was first thank you for reducing plastic, then it was thank you for reducing waste, and now it's thank you for reducing carbon.
All right, so let's.
And you are when you're reusing it.
So let's dig into that. So when you say you're helping out with carbon,
Yep.
what does that mean to you, and what have you done in your stores to show the customer outside of a bowl what they can do or what they will do as a result of buying with you?
Well, I think what it means, our mission is to make healthy and sustainability possible. And the healthy part is somewhat easier. We're serving, salad wraps, warm bowls, avocado toast, smoothies, all on the healthier side. But the sustainability side has to be consistently focused on. So what it means for reusable bowls, we're meeting our mission and our goals. In terms of marketing and branding the reusable bowls, we had never really done that. We're not a marketing company. We're not a branding company. So we are my passion is product and operations, and a little old school. So we're hyper focused on giving the best product in the category at the most reasonable price and operating better than others. So honestly, more of a Trader Joe's and IKEA are more of my aspirational brands versus maybe more exclusive brands like Equinox per se. So that being said, on the sustainability side, we've been able to tell our story better in recent years as we've hired people around me that are much better storytellers.
It's going to be a common thread today talking about storytelling, because the lens that we all look through, whether it was Kenneth Cole or it's going to be other people on the stage, we're all here to tell a story. And we're all here to tell someone what we want them to hear, educate them, and help them understand. So when I learned about talking to you, I saw something on your app called the Climatarian Menu. Now, here at SeenThis, we talk a lot about sustainability. It's in every pitch. It's not our core proposition, but it is a result of our technology. How on earth are you able to communicate those elements of the salad and the choices and the carbon reduction to your customers? How do they understand it? What does it mean? Help them making choices.
Yeah, so the genesis of that is kind of after 2006, I was sidetracked with running a business and couldn't think about sustainability day to day. By 2017, I wanted someone full-time at the company that was focused on sustainability. By 2019, I brought in a chief sustainability officer named Sandra Noonan, who lives a zero-waste lifestyle, and she was is a passionate reusable bowl holder that walked into my office and demanded to know why we don't make it available for delivery and pickup, which we do now.
I agree.
Yeah, we're testing that at 20 restaurants. So the discussion is, what else can we do for sustainability besides a reusable bowl? All the packaging side has gone through. We have no plastic in our stores, with the exception of a dressing cup on the side, which we're still trying to get rid of, and a thin liner on our smoothies. So she said, we need to raise more awareness to the sustainability side, and climate labeling is something that's starting to take off in Europe. We should be the first restaurant chain in the US to do it. And our feeling is climate labeling is kind of where nutritional facts were in the 1970s. So no one right now understands, on our menu, you can see some of our higher carbon items are 1.5 kilograms. The Tokyo Super Greens was one of our lower ones, is about 0.5 kilograms. No one really understands what that is, but we want to be at the forefront of putting that out there, and then adding context to the customer. What does that mean? Well, 1.5 is equivalent to a 3-mile drive. 0.5 is only a 1-mile drive. And then also comparing it to other items like hamburger. So red meat is one of the worst emitters of carbon for food in the country and in the world. And that's something where we compare it to a hamburger. So trying to give people context, and other chains are starting to do it. And then when enough people do it, it's going to be right, like reading fiber grams, protein grams. People have some type of reference. Is that good or is that bad?
It's just impressive that you guys took it was part of what you did from day one. It's part of your DNA, and it's now incumbent upon us to understand and be a part and do something. I get in all these conversations where people will say, because in the US, right, there's not a lot of rules and regulations about sustainability, but they want to do something. How can I just do my part? How do I leave the world a better place? When we talk to you, have 3 kids, I've got 3 boys, and all I think about is what's going to happen with them. And if I can do just a little bit, and if I can make that change, it all starts somewhere. So that is absolutely amazing.
And it's magnified. We have 80 restaurants, and we're growing over 20 restaurants a year. So when we make the decision to compost front of house, back of house of every restaurant, the amount of food waste, that we're saving from going into a landfill that's emitting methane to actually being reused and potentially carbon friendly at composting facilities, it is a major impact. And I think consumers more and more will start to demand that from their brands. We've already seen a big push. We've been doing the reusable bowl since 2006. No one really cared until COVID. That was totally a moment where I think a lot of people were had time to think, and some of the things that came out, I think, is more consumers now are more passionate about sustainability than ever, and the reusable bowl is an easy way for people to make a difference.
It is, and it's great that brands are following suit and doing something. So you just mentioned all the stores, so let's talk about that. You've got a footprint on the eastern seaboard. You're moving a little west. Can you talk about what that expansion looks like?
Yeah, I mean, we've been most people in Manhattan know us for office locations, which we kind of grew out of. But actually, as of now, we've got 35 in the New York City area, and about a third are in residential areas like the Upper East Side, Chelsea, Upper West, Brooklyn. And we're growing up mostly in the suburbs right now. So expanding into Long Island, where we have 4 locations, New Jersey, where we have 4 locations, Connecticut, we have 2 in Philly, we have 17 in Florida, we have 6 in Chicago, we have 1 in Boston now. But the biggest form of expansion for us are northeastern suburbs, all of Florida, Chicago suburbs, and then we'll add a new market next year.
That's fantastic. So earlier today, I heard a little bit about training and your staff, what's going on inside their house, also externally. How do you keep your teams interested, understanding, because they're the front line. So if I'm going to go in and ask a question, they're going to need to understand. How do you educate them, and what is your process like for that?
Yeah, I would say that's probably the most important thing we do. Everyone's always like, what's your moat? And, to me, if you take, whether it's Chick-fil-A or Starbucks, what's their moat? It's brand and operations and real estate. And that's the same thing for us. Operations, is where I probably spend most of my time on. And so the first part is just creating a great store level culture. So no matter how much you pay someone, if they walk into a restaurant where the culture is crap and people are negative, and it doesn't matter. It's not going to be a good experience for the employer or the customer. So we work a lot on culture through teamletics, and honestly, the biggest is promoting from within. So all our managers typically paid $70,000 to $90,000 a year, and they start as hourly employees. So they're very loyal to the company and very passionate about what they do. And then on the hourly side, we pay, in New York, we're paying $20 an hour, which is about 10-20% more than most others in the industry, and the pay helps as well. But I think honestly, the pay is certainly important, but them feeling part of the growth, knowing that they have an opportunity to continue to rise up, and it's not just that they see restaurant team leaders or general managers become district managers, become regional directors, become training directors, and so they see a lot of opportunity.
It's so amazing to do that, to really bring people up from within and to allow them that growth opportunities, so they know when they join your team that that's a trajectory that they'll end up on, which is.
And they're not told that they see it because the people they're reporting to will say they've been here for 7 years. They started at the same position as them. So
Feels like advertising back in the day when I was in an agency, around the table, 20 years, 25 years. So one of the things we talked about were collaborations, and actually here at Kenneth Cole during COVID, you guys did one. Why don't you talk a little bit about that and what it meant to you?
yeah, no, that's the main reason I was here. Kenneth Cole, Danielle, thank you. It was a time where I don't think a lot of people were looking to collaborate with restaurants, and we had an idea that we wanted to make the masks for our employees fashionable. We wanted to make them feel proud. It was a pretty miserable time to be in the restaurant business, and so something to like make it a little bit more exciting, feel proud. And so we reached out to Kenneth Cole, and we came up with a mask design that was a little nicer material-wise and designed by Kenneth Cole, which I think our employees really appreciated, and we gave it to them for free. And it was a really nice collaboration at a time where there was a lot of darkness for our restaurant employees, and so really appreciate that from Kenneth Cole.
And are there any other collaborations that might not be COVID mask related, but things that are coming up that you might want to talk about?
Yeah, so we have different types of partnerships. We have partnerships on the ingredient side. So like right now we're partnered with Grillo's Pickles for our buffalo cauliflower salad, and we've partnered with Hero Wraps, which we actually ordered today, which are 2 grams net carbs, and Hero's a great wrap brand. And then we do partnerships that are more on the culinary side. So like we're doing Dirt Candy, the chef Amanda, we're partnering with her for salad in January, and then we're doing a collaboration with Mark Forgione, the chef. And then we have like bigger brand partnerships. And for me, this is actually in 2 weeks, we're releasing a kids menu with Sesame Street. Thank you. Sesame Street in the house. And yeah, it's actually probably, I don't want to jinx it, but should be my favorite collaboration of all time.
Wait, she's right over here.
Yeah. Having 3 kids, there's a lot of credibility in the house with my kids right now with that. But it's a 2-part collaboration. One is the kids menu, which as we've expanded into the suburbs, we realized we had to tackle that, but we wanted to tackle it in a way that was exciting and differentiated. So Sesame Street's a dream come true to partner with that. And the menu's like awesome for kids, and we hope it'll get kids started eating in a truly genuine, healthy way and excited about it. And then in February, we'll be launching the Just Salad Sesame Street collab on the reusable bowls. So that's really cool. So we're going to have 4 separate reusable bowls, one with all the Sesame Street characters. I think those will be like really hot and hard to get. It's a really cool design. And then we have one with Elmo, Oscar the Grouch, which I think is pretty ironic with the reusable bowl, and Cookie Monster. And when kids reuse their bowl, they get a free cookie at Just Salad, which is pretty cool too. So I think that's going to be a really exciting one.
My kids are a little older, but
12 and under. 12 and under.
yeah, no, I got college and almost college.
Okay.
So shoot.
Full price for them.
I mean, it's not the price part. Remember, we're not talking money, but it's just, I think, looking from a brand perspective, right? We're in a room and we're here for brand innovators and thinking about. You talk so much about the experience and the operations, but that translates to the brand. That is who you are. I watched you in there when we were doing the food. Just, it's about the moment, about the experience and what you guys do. And so thinking about how you expand and what you do with it, Sesame Street, different chefs, what you've done with Kenneth, is just an incredible way to curate your brand and get it and grow it up, right, as people get older.
But at the end of the day, none of it matters if you go and you don't enjoy the food, right? So for us, relating it to fashion, you can have the best brand, but if the product doesn't live up to it, it's going to be momentary, and for in the restaurant business, that's even more so. So we've always kept our eye on the ball, and if we say in the restaurant business, that's the difference between a founder and a CEO. CEOs in the restaurant business don't always last so long because they don't want to get their hands dirty, and I think founders are used to that, at least good ones.
I'd say you're a great one.
Oh,
impressive. I mean, the food showed up and we were out there plating everything.
You did a great job. Thank you.
Oh, anytime. That wasn't about me. It's about you, right? I'm interviewing you. So I think it is mission accomplished. Day one, going forth. I want to know, you've got 3 kids, and what is it that you want to impart to them? Whether it's operations, business, what are the lessons out of all of this that you want to show them?
I mean, I talk mostly to them about sustainability in business. So, that's like, I'll be very proud of some of the things I've done with sustainability. I make sure they understand that because I want them to know how important it is to me. But then there's also the side of I want them to do well professionally in life. And anytime I can share any of that wisdom or mistakes I've made, I try and do that as well.
And so when you think about 2 things, one is sustainability and business do work well together. They don't need to be separate.
Yeah, I feel like that's a huge misnomer that they're counter to each other. There are creative ways. Take the reusable bowl. We're really not paying for that. So, we sell it at cost to our customer. So we don't make any money off the reusable bowl. But every time they bring it back, we're saving 30, 40 cents on a disposable container. And we give it back to the customer for free for 30, 40 cents on topping. So it just takes a little creativity and a little time. And I think what really happens is companies get big, successful. Those are the important companies to the environment, and they get too busy to actually make a difference. And they're more focused on optically, how can I make a difference? Because that's easier. But I think it's actually, if that little extra effort is made, there's actual tangible differences that can be made without costing the company much money. Nominal.
Yeah, it's impressive. We see it a lot with what we do. And I think it's important really for everyone to think about purpose, sustainability. They don't live apart. They live in business together. And that's really important because when they become woven, it's a really killer story to tell for both externally and also internally as you grow and motivate and share your story. So let's go back to the beginning where it all started. What are the 2 things? I want to know 2 things. 1, what do you wish someone shared with you? And 2, what are you going to tell the young Nick on the floor about what he should learn when he should launch his Just Salad?
A loaded question. What will I tell one of my kids about starting Just Salad?
What do you wish someone told you?
Told it.
Yeah.
Well, I think the last panelist had a good recommendation of in life, one of the biggest decisions you make is the partner you end up with, and in business, one of the most important decisions you make is the partner you end up with. So I think and both are really hard, right? Because you don't know everything up front. But I think you really need to vet that as much as possible, because that's going to be a world of pain or joy depending on the partner you choose, or if you choose a partner at all, which sometimes might make sense as well.
And are there any watch outs, or I guess when you're thinking about your younger self, what would you tell them aside from like the partner thing? What is the
This shit is not easy. That's what I would say. It's I think you think of like starting a business, and part of all entrepreneurs is like, I'm going to work really hard, and for a couple of years I'll sell out, and it's a longer journey, And all these brands that you think have been around for 5 years and did amazing, you're like, what? That's been around for 25 years? It's a long journey. So you have to enter this knowing starting a business is very rarely a get rich, quick scheme. It's got to be something that you want to enjoy the journey of chaos, ups and downs. And I don't think I knew that as much going in, but along the way, genuinely started to embrace it and have fun with it.
This has been so informational for me. I wanted to open it up to a few questions. Does anybody have a question for Nick?
Hi, a great conversation. I'm Rick with Innovators Strategy Group. Nick, fascinating store. I've been a customer, so and I think you can feel the presence of your sustainability passion when you're in your stores. And you mentioned a little bit about the competitors, the competition, and why they haven't. But what are the biggest challenges that you hear when you're talking to folks in the business? Because you both kind of talked about the small tweaks, right, that you can make to make it a real part of the business, but it's you don't get that experience when you walk into other places like you do when you adjust salads. So what are the biggest challenges or the things that stop them the most from moving forward with real sustainability initiatives?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think first of all, some don't care, right, in a real way. So that wipes out like 80% of the restaurant chains. They're not really trying to do something, and then you have ones that do care. But I think if you came to me now, and I care a lot about sustainability, but if you came to me now and said, Nick, we've got to do a reusable bowl program at Just Salad, and we got to get that approved by every department of health that we work with in the country. We've got to train the team. You're gonna have to go spend probably somewhere between $250,000 to $500,000 just implementing the reusable bowl program, and then you got to give the customer something for free, which we don't know how that'll affect our numbers. Like, it is a big pull. We have over 1,000 employees, and we're smaller mid-size chain. So I just think starting from day one with that. Is why we do it today, but it's really hard the bigger you get to implement that. But I do think they should, and Meal Pal, we work with and we partnered with them to do a reusable program that we test with them that they're now rolling out to other restaurants. So that is a way of doing reusables at other restaurant chains. So I don't think the restaurants themselves are going to figure it out. I think there'll be a third party that hopefully helps them figure it out.
Hey, and Jeff from the Weather Company. Curious about the carbon labeling. Is that something that you're going to look to educate consumers on outside of just your store locations? Is that something you're going to look for other partners to take on with you? Just kind of curious about how you're thinking about that as it's becoming more prevalent.
Yeah, so there are two ways. One is, so we work with a third party called Planet Forward, and they are in charge of authentifying and doing our carbon labeling. They themselves are VC backed and trying to bring awareness to carbon labeling in general. And then for us, we do try and tell the story to our customers. What that actually ends up meaning in real life is twice a year email social about it. And our reach at this point is pretty significant in terms of like 500,000 people are on our email list, and between social, a few 100,000. But for us, email is like the biggest way to directly communicate with our customers, and we try and do that twice a year.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, anytime.